Hey, IDS 302. Welcome to video 5.2. Um, Back home in Phoenix here. And see if I'm sorry it's late. Okay, we'll talk about that as we move along here. A couple of things. First off, come on, there's a link here I had to Apple News, which is a pain in the butt. But I wanted to point it out to everybody, the headline here, if you can see that quick. New particle. Um, Hints that a new experiment hints that a particle breaks the known laws of physics. That's pretty big news, okay? And in terms of research, when I talk about being humble, that's big news. That doesn't sound humble when you're talking about breaking the known laws of physics. But again, in an effort to continue this ongoing education that we all continue on in life, lifetime learners, be better consumers of knowledge, this is an interesting article. I don't know if I can include it. I'll try to put the link in. I don't know if you'll be able to get it, but it's from National Geographic. Um, in a landmark experiment, scientists have found fresh evidence that a subatomic particle is disobeying one of science's most watertight theories, the Standard Model of particle physics. So it goes through this, and obviously it was catching my eye. I'm not a physics guy. It's talk about a muon, like electrons. Muons have a negative electric charge and a quantum property called spin. The stronger the magnetic field, the faster a muon wobbles. Blah blah blah. But this one breaks the rules, and this is one of the researchers, University of Manchester physicist Mark Lancaster. It's a collaboration, more than 200 scientists from 7 countries. He says this has been a long time coming. Many of us have been working on it for decades. Yikes, that's not a session B class. Um, by strict standards of particle physics, the results aren't a discovery just yet. The threshold won't be reached until the results achieve a statistical certainty of 5 sigma, or 1 in 3.5 million chance that a random fluctuation caused the gap. So in other words, they've got to keep replicating this till the odds show that it wasn't a fluke, okay? And they're talking about evidence, and it's not a discovery yet. It said it could take a couple of more years to do this. And so it's an interesting article. I really dug it. I'm not into science that much in terms of academics, but it's very interesting. They bring up the Higgs boson and such. I'll try to include this, but if not, let me know if you really want to see this and you can't see it from the link. But there are a couple of interesting terms that resonate with what we're being introduced, what you're being introduced to in this class, right? Um, So I just wanted to see if if I could spot. No, that's pretty much it. So, but it does say at the end, what does it say here? It says, when you go and tell people I'm going to try to measure something to better than 1 part per million, they sometimes look at you a little bit odd. And then when you say it's going to take 10 years, they go, you must be mad. I think the message is persevere. And that's it. That's to add incremental knowledge to the field, the body of knowledge in that field. In some cases, it'll be a major discovery, but it's just this tiny bit. Okay, interesting, huh? Okay. All right, then I got an email. Hi, hello, Michael. I'm emailing you to let you know about a paid job with Coca-Cola for the 21-22 school year. I'd love for you to share the opportunity with your students so that they may apply to be a part of this amazing program about the job. It's a year-long job. Starts with virtual training. Students will meet over 100 other students alike from around the country. Job tasks include posting social contact and representing the brand. There's that one yawn. Oh, sorry. Representing the brand on campus virtually. Several of our students landed full-time jobs with Coca-Cola upon graduation. You can hear their stories here. Why did you get this email? So why do we email you instead of going direct to your career services? Yeah, that's a suspicion. Red flag. Well, we've heard this quite a bit. While we're submitting roles to career services, you will likely know of a student who will benefit from this opportunity. We'd like you to give them an advantage. Whatever. I mean, that's good writing, but okay. Campus Commandos emailed me and not Coca-Cola. Our responsibility is to recruit the absolute best college students for this job. On behalf of Coca-Cola, if you're interested in this, let me know and I will send you the links that I have. I'm not going to blanket it. I'm never positive. I checked it out. It seemed okay. But if you are interested in this kind of opportunity, just let me know when you send me the Easter eggs or something, okay? And I'll send you links. All right, so step two, reviewing it, I got to tell you, it was a huge improvement over step one, obviously, and I expected that, and I pretty well knew that. I think in any kind of class, you get about 50% of the students that are really trying. You get about 25% that kind of trying, but not really kind of trying. And then you get 25% that really aren't trying. So I really see the difference. One of the key things, though, that I caught on with a couple of people is remember what step two is. It's an interdisciplinary justification to your problem. And some of you just went right through information again about your problem. You didn't connect. Why does this make it interdisciplinary? Why does this require an interdisciplinary process of integration to analyze? You didn't justify, you just went through more facts and figures. And don't just think that it implies that you have to state it. And I was so appreciative of those who actually put that in words. This problem does require integrative interdisciplinary analysis because of these complexities. Okay, that was an important point. All right, complex problem. Remember, we said that was the basis for qualifying for interdisciplinary problem that can be best served by an integrative way. And then what you had to get into too, I noticed that there was too much in terms of multidisciplinary. Some of you went through the disciplines and said, oh, you can analyze it from business, economics, sociology, but you didn't ever put it together and use the word integration. Remember, that means you're just justifying it to be multidisciplinary. So all these little catches, like I said, where you have to justify it to be interdisciplinary, not multidisciplinary. Interdisciplinary includes multiple disciplines, but what does it do? It integrates, right? So you need to mention that, all right? So I like that the way it was going generally. This discussion board, I just graded a bunch of you did it. The Newell-Benson debate, where Benson was playing devil's advocate on IDS and Newell was responding. I got to tell you, I really liked this discussion board and how overwhelmingly the people that submitted it did a fabulous job. And one of the things I detected as I went through, and I may have mentioned this to you specifically, was confidence. Okay, confidence. So many students come into 301 and they have no clue what the heck IDS is, and some of these instructors don't either. I hate to say it. I'm just kidding. But it's my gig. IDS is my undergrad, IDS is my master's, and it's still not easy. Again, I say it's like grasping water. Go get me a handful of water from the sink. Well, what the heck, Go get me some IDS. What is that? So it's rough in the beginning there. And then even in 302, some students come in, I still don't get it. I used to query my students in 302 and ask them to tell me how they felt about their 30, how their interdisciplinary competency. And I stopped asking that question because it was just too depressing. But here I detect this confidence. You folks wrote very confidently in terms of what you felt the pros were and the cons were, how you could overcome the cons with the pros, et cetera, et cetera. I really appreciate that, as well as confidently describing how this field resonates in your current personal life, real life, career goals, et cetera. So bravo, well done. I mean, I know it's a lot of work in this class, but I'm always get the tingly feeling when I see such success. Okay. So let's go with Easter egg number one, and I'm going to go back to this integration is the process, okay? Because it just reminds us that what we're doing here is not just a multidisciplinary research, but interdisciplinary. And it's going to get tricky, but to at least push for that is what I want. I just don't want us to stop at multidisciplinary. Wow, bonus yawn on 6 hours sleep. I drove straight back from Monterey on Wednesday, right? Yeah, 11 and a half hours. I don't know what the hell's wrong with you, California, but your weather was too damn cold, and I left this beautiful 92 degrees. So now I'm back. Anyways, let's talk about step 3. That's coming up. Um, I'll jump behind that first, talking about the next discussion board of the peer-reviewed sources. Peer-reviewed sources. We know all about that already. So many of you are giving me those peer-reviewed sources. There are some of you, though, that just want to just do me in. Because I have said Forbes is not a source to use in this class. Encyclopedia is not. Dictionaries not. Newspapers aren't. .coms aren't. Anything with blog in the link is not. To try to stay away from them. Yes, there are occasions, of course, in research where those things can be used. But when you're training on the basics, you learn the basics. Okay? The basics are peer-reviewed work supports or challenges or justifies or goes against your assumptions, your research or hypotheses, whatever. You need to use those things. You can't just jump around. There has to be discipline involved in identifying sources that will work, okay, to do those things, peer-reviewed. So when someone actually in this class gave me a paper with Forbes, NewYorkTimes.com, a blog, I was just about ready to lose it. Okay. In terms of government sources, .govs, .orgs, things like that. Yes, but only in a small percentage of your sources. Yes, govs can be good for statistics and such, but remember, even the government has bias. Even the government is not so much peer reviewed. We could see that last year at this time with the pandemic, and Dr. Bricks was up there supporting President Trump, talking about putting a black light down your throat or wherever. There's no freaking peer reviewed backs that up, and they were doing that. The government was saying it, right? But now we have more studies, and especially in terms of COVID, that reflect that. But anyways, you know what I'm saying. So you must use your peer-reviewed sources, okay, for this discussion board, and then automatically you can, yes, please, 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 you should use those for your step 3 annotated bibliography. What I'm doing here is giving you this chance to find your sources, throw them in a discussion board, not worry too much about formatting, getting that job done, and then taking it to the next level to go into a step 3 annotated bibliography that is impeccably formatted and set up the way it's supposed to be. And to do that, you just have to watch that video that I posted. It's fabulous. If you can't find it, let me know. That video tells you everything. If you can follow that video for your annotated bibliography, and you will score. And you'll use the example as well, because I want you to divide these up into your 3 disciplines, whichever you're going to use. Little bold heading for each three disciplines, 4 sources per each one, and you're going to rock this, okay? Now, I realize that's a lot of work, especially with me going to talk about the survey next. So here's the deal. This is my deal. All right. Easter egg number 2 is must use peer-reviewed sources. Okay. Don't waste your time or mine with anything else. Must use peer-reviewed sources. Now, if you have trouble finding those, and please stop writing your Easter egg at this point. Don't write all this. If you have trouble finding things, you let me know on the ASU library. Okay. I've talked about how to do that. You go into the OneSearch, search for terms. When it comes up, you look on the right side. I think you might have to hit expand your results. Then you can get filters. Then you can hit peer reviewed. And you get full text online. And you on the bottom, you put apply filters. Jackpot. Okay. Let me know if you have any trouble outside of that. Because like I said, worst case, you can go to Sage Publishing, Harvard Publishing, to academic journal publishing houses and look there. But be careful, because you're either going to get stuck in something that's not academic or peer reviewed, or you could get stuck going through all this work and run into paywalls. You're not going to pay. Then you got to take it over to the library then, right? Okay, so here's the deal. If you need more time to get your step 3 in, it's due on Sunday, all right? You got to do 3 things. You got to write this to me with your Easter eggs. You got to say, I would like more time until Tuesday to submit step 3. And I agree to make sure my survey is submitted as soon as possible. That'll be module 6 coming up. And I promise to complete surveys of my classmates, and they will be on a discussion board. So if you want to wait till Tuesday to get your step 3 in, because you're going to be working on your survey now, you need to request that you're going to submit it on Tuesday before midnight. Number 2, that you're going to work on getting your survey out and post it up here as soon as possible. And you're going to complete the surveys of your peers. Okay. Now, what's my leverage on that? Simple. If when the survey post is due on the discussion board, you didn't turn yours in, I'm going to go back and mark your paper late 2 days. Okay. What? I got flies flying up my nose. Cut. Okay, no, just kidding. Where's the director? What is going on here? He's going to go in my mouth. So that's it. That'll give you till Tuesday and step 3. Okay. Because we got to get moving now in the survey. All right. So the survey preview is going to be. I am so sorry if you saw that. That was my bug I got from Talking Sopranos. It's a podcast I watch, and it's kind of an inside joke. Anyways, survey. I am going to put out a video today yet following this one. It's just going to be a screenshot of my screen building a survey. Okay. I only have 15 minutes to do it in this application I use. And I usually do it in 15 minutes. But to prepare you for that, I did send out that announcement yesterday with a general list of requirements and how we're going to do it. But I want to be really clear on this. A, if you need help, you let me know, okay? Because B, if you post a crap survey, it's going to ruin everything. Because without good, valuable data, your research is nothing but a report from high school, okay? You need good data that you can compare, contrast, correlate, and then integrate and develop some idea that might be that's new, or at least based on this snapshot. Because remember, this snapshot of random adults is your way of fulfilling that requirement that this is research. This is new. Nobody's got this snapshot of these random adults. And remember, it's random adults. I'm going to give you a little pro tip later on. Don't come back and analyze and say, most of the respondents were ASU students. I don't want to hear any of that. None of that. Because you shouldn't be asking if they're ASU students. They are random adults, okay, period. All right. All your questions. First one is, how old are you? There's a little box for that. You make a little thing for that. That's it. They write it. You do not go through 18 to 24, 25 to 31, 30. You do not do that. No, I don't. You're not getting enough responses to justify grouping ages. Look at your ages when you get them, then put them together in a pie chart, bar graph, what have you. Okay. Your second question is going to be gender, male, female, other. That's it. 3 choices. Then from there, I'm going to show you how to build the type of questions you're going to need. If you run into problems you don't know how to ask or how, okay, you got to get a hold of me. There should be 0 yes, no questions. If I see yes, no questions, I'm going to know that A, you probably didn't watch this video. B, you watch this video while you're watching something else. But C, that you weren't listening because there's no yes or no questions. Because it doesn't matter. Do you believe the COVID-19 pandemic was serious? Yes or no? What kind of question is that? It doesn't reveal anything. I think even the most anti-vaxxer, anti-masker would think it was serious because it either was done to control a population or something. But if you say, on a scale of 1 to 5, how serious do you believe the pandemic has been, to your life? How's it changed things? Whatever. And then you got 0 to 5, 1 to 5, 1 being not at all, 5 being definitely a lot, or whatever. You do scales of intensity. Anytime you think of a yes no question, think of it in terms of a scale of intensity. Ask it that way. So that yes might be way over here and no might be over there, but there's a middle ground in there. Figure out how to articulate that. If you have trouble with that, let me know, okay? There's going to be multiple choices. There's going to be choose all that apply. There's going to be this typical grid column row question. And then have at it. Have at it. There's no limit. I tell you what, the first two questions we already have set, right? Age, gender. If you come at me with 5 more, it's not going to look good at all. It's just a waste of time. You're being generic. I have students that actually don't ask age or gender. They miss out totally. What are you comparing here? What are you doing? You're just compiling a list of, you got to have some kind of breakdown of demographics. You could theoretically ask age, gender, income level, living situation in terms of, you can ask, if you want to do rates of income, again, you're students, so you might not have a decent idea. I remember there was a student loan question. Somebody said, they put the choices down under 10,000, 10 to 20, and over 20. I'm like, that's just insane. I'm 10 times higher than that myself. Okay. Same with grouping age. They got all these ages and they go 50 and over. 50 and over. I'll be 63 next month. You think I want to be stuck with a young punk kid that's 51? Come on. You think I want to be stuck with the old timers that are 72? Give me my age. Give me my individual age. So I'm being careful here that you need to open your mind. You talk about open mind, be open-minded. Don't think the world revolves around 20-some-year-olds. Okay, whatever, boomer. I know, but you got to be able to understand it. So if you did like an income thing, it maybe be under 20,000, 20 to 40, 40 to 70, and make it. And then just don't end it at 80. A lot of people make a lot more than that. You'd be surprised, But you could do that. You could do age, gender, level of income. Where do you live? Okay, choose where you live. Urban, suburban, rural. That can identify people. Don't start putting states in there because you have to name all the states. Nobody gets to fill in a blank in this thing. No fill in the blank. There is no question that gives you choices and puts other with a blank. There is none of that. You violate the rules of a quantitative survey should you do that quantitative study, and you've now become mixed methods, and now you're responsible to do a coding system for your qualitative answers. You're responsible for doing a validity horizon, a meaning field. There's no time for that. So if you want to do other, fine, but there cannot be any blank after other. Okay? So I'm trying to give you this, right? Take these notes down or something. All right? I don't pre-screen surveys, but I will talk to you on the phone about your survey. Okay? That's fair, right? Because I can't pre-screen everybody's. But I do everybody's survey once I post them, okay? At rare occasions, if your survey really sucks, I'm gonna tell you, you gotta redo this, okay? But that rarely ever happens. All right, so looking forward to the next video I'm gonna do here in a little bit is how to create that survey. I'm gonna be using Google Docs, Google Forms, Google Quiz, I guess. And you'll be able to do all this. Again, this is really an important part. I gotta check the due date on that. But you want to get involved and get this up and running ASAP. The more time it's out there, see, another reason we do it in this way to class, because that survey's out there getting data while you're doing other things. Okay, you're collecting data. You're not out there sifting algae from a pond. You're not out there watching, an ethnographic study, watching a corner somewhere and documenting all the things that happen. You are letting this work for you. You post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram, post it on Snapchat, post it on Twitter. I don't know if you can do any of that, but do it, okay? Your survey link is due April 16th, a week from today to post. I'd like to see some before that. I'll tell you this, if you post yours before that, then it's easier for me to tell you, hey, this kind of sucks. You might want to do this again. So I would say post it. Let me know if you're having questions. Don't send it out anywhere else. Let me look at it. Then I'll try to tell you whether it's good to go. I know that goes against what I just said, but it's really important because once you send out a bad survey, you can't just have two different surveys either, right? So we're going to dig into that. Next week, again, we're simplifying things. Next week in Module 6, I'll put that on Sunday. All you need to do, like I said, Module 6 is video 1, video 2. There's some basic learning materials, your survey link, and step 4. Okay? So, somebody's calling me. Okay. So, all right. Have a good one. Easter egg number 3 is no open-ended questions. No open-ended questions. Okay? So there you go. I'll talk to you soon on the other side here with my other video, 25.5 minutes. Peace. Forks up. Peace.